Okay, so we're introducing a new segment, a new weekly segment, or bi-weekly, or whenever we do it, essentially, segment on the show called Kanye Quest. Basically, each week we're going to be going through an album, mixtape, compilation album, something through Kanye's West discography. There's going to be 12 weeks of this. I already counted it out. That's how long it's going to take to get through all of this. We're going to go through a lot of stuff, everything from his mixtape days all the way to Life of Pablo, and maybe something after Life of Pablo if that comes out. Well, if we're still working on this, but TurboGrafx 16 maybe.
It's coming.
Hopefully. But how do you introduce Kanye West? Kanye West is a rapper, producer from Chicago, and he's one of the most popular and influential, and at times infamous rappers in hip-hop history. We talked about Kanye a plethora of times before and how he's an artist that has changed his style throughout his entire career. We debated which album is his best, but now we want to have a definitive answer which Kanye project is the best, and over the course of his career, how did he progress? And what is this historical context to each project? What is the essential history of Kanye West? What is the bare bones history that you need to know about Kanye West, or could know about Kanye West? So we're going on this quest through a majority of his discography, listing off our opinions on each piece of Kanye history, or giving our opinions on each piece, giving Kanye's history and his progression. So we're covering 12 projects, or at least we're having 12 episodes. Kanye has way more mixtapes and compilations that we're not covering. I left off our Academics Genius Level Music Volumes 1 and 2 because I felt like it was a lot of redundant material. Con the Louis Vuitton Don came around the same period and had a lot of the same material that's on that. And the Freshman Adjustment Volume 1, 2, and 3 are essentially compilations that have a lot of live performances and some remix tracks that I don't think are essential to Kanye's history and do not show any progression. They're redundant and are not needed. So we are going to be covering 12 projects that show off a definitive history of Kanye West, starting with Get Well Soon, his first, or if not one of his first mixtapes, followed by I'm Good, followed with his first studio album, College Dropout, followed with his second, Late Registration, his last mixtape, Can't Tell Me Nothing, which led into Graduation, one of our personal favorites, followed with 808 Heartbreaks, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. We're also going to be covering Good Fridays, Watch the Throne, and finally, Kanye West presents Good Music, Cruel Summer, followed by Yeezus, and then followed by The Life of
Rob Lowe.
Rob Lowe, yeah, that's it. So yeah, what bit do you have planned for me?
Yeah, so I wrote a D&D campaign. I've never played D&D ever. I actually, my only knowledge of D&D comes from the Adventure Zone. If you've never heard that, do you listen to the McElroy brothers? They have a podcast, and the three brothers and their dad all play D&D together, and it's super funny. I listen to it when I'm not listening to albums. And so I wrote a campaign based off of what I know about it. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Wait, what's your character's name?
Can I just pick whatever?
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
And what race is he?
Like, can it be like something is like Skyrim races where I can just be a
Kinda.
fucking like a lizard person?
Sure.
Oh, okay, I know my name. Big Trev the Refrigerator
You
Kid.
can't be me. I'm the dungeon master.
Big Vin the Refrigerator Kid. No, Father Stretch my Big Fred the Father Stretch my Big Trev the Refrigerator Kid Part 2.
Okay. Okay. What race are you?
Yeezy.
Okay.
That's my race, I guess.
Our quest begins in a tavern in an unknown city. You're not allowed to look. You have to look that way. This is your imagination. Close your eyes. You awake in a cold sweat, only to find you are sleeping on the bar counter. The bar is lively, filled with creatures of many races. Goblins, dwarves, wizards, and adventurers of all shapes and sizes. It is extremely loud, but over all the commotion you hear a soothing voice. Do you want something to drink? You look over to see none other than rapper-producer extraordinaire Kanye West. He's wearing a suit of armor and has a sword in its harness on his side. He looks at you as if he has known you all his life. You don't know what to say and orders you a drink on him. You can't do anything but stare at him. He notices, looks at you softly, and laughs. I bet you're wondering why I'm here, he says. I'm on my way home to the faraway land of Chicago. It's truly a sight to behold, but the road there is treacherous. The bartender brings you your drink. Starstruck, you take it from the counter and can do nothing else but hold it as Kanye continues to talk. There lies many dangers ahead on the path to Chicago, dangers unknown to many humans. Those who face them rarely come back to tell the tale, but alas, I must go. He turns to leave, then hesitates, turning back towards you. He looks you over from head to toe, taking in every last bit of you. You know, I could use a travel companion, he finally says. Would you care to join me? If we make it, you'll never have to worry about money again. Before you have a chance to answer him, he shuffles you out the door and into the city streets. You exit the town gates and begin on the beaten path towards the forest. You've barely made it 20 yards outside the city premises when a shadowy figure slinks from behind a tree, blocking your path. So imagine like P&B Rock, okay? In his hand, he holds what seems to be a self-produced tape on CD. He unleashes a sound that only hell hath known. Baring his gold-plated teeth, he looks ready for a fight. What do?
Do I have magic?
No.
Okay. What can I do? Anything?
You have a sword.
I have a sword. Okay.
It's actually more like a pocket knife.
Okay. I try to shiv him with the pocket knife.
All right. Make an attack roll. It'll be whatever numbers you want.
What?
It's whatever numbers you want.
69.
Oh, you can't do that. This will be up to 20.
19?
Okay, that's pretty good. P&B Rock rolls a 12, so he takes like 7 damage.
Do we actually need to get dice for this to play this properly?
No. Alright, let's start talking about it.
What?
The album.
Oh, the album? I think we should just do this. This is what we should do for the rest of his album.
It's fun.
So wait, what happened?
A shadowy figure came out.
No, at the very end.
We'll find out next week.
Fucking pleb.
Are you interested in the
Yes, this is what we should be doing every week. This is like the best idea you have ever had.
Thank you.
Okay, now we have to get into the lame part, talking about get well soon. Okay, so now we have to do what they call in theater, setting up the scene.
I just set up the scene.
Different scene. Reality.
Okay.
Scene. At age 13, young Kanye West desperately wanted to become a rapper, and he began to, this is totally true, began to pursue his mother to pay $25 an hour for time in a recording studio that was in a basement, where a microphone was hung from the ceiling by a wire clothes hanger. Kanye's first song was a track called Green Eggs and Ham. Kanye was later introduced to the one and only No ID, and he would later become his mentor. At age 15, Kanye got a sampler, and No ID taught him how to use it. He couldn't have had a better mentor. No ID is probably like perfect. Kanye, after high school, went to American Academy of Art for painting, which I didn't know. And then he switched over to the Chicago State University to study English, and also Chicago isn't a state. I'm just fucking around. And as we all know, he eventually dropped out to work on his music. His mom didn't really support it, but she wanted him to follow his dream.
You don't.
Afterwards, Kanye started producing music for Foxy Brown and Goody Mob. And in 2000, this is where we get to the essential part. 2000, he started to produce for Roc-a-fella Records. He produced several tracks for Jay-Z on the Blueprint. People credit him for revitalizing Jay-Z's career. Blueprint was like his 6th studio album. He would become a in-house producer for Roc-a-fella. He began producing for artists such as Ludacris, Alicia Keys, Janet Jackson, and Freeway. During this time, Kanye still desperately wanted to be a rapper. That's all he wanted to be in his life, or most importantly, it's the biggest thing he wanted. But no one really saw him as that. And this is kind of like a well-known story at this point. Is no one saw Kanye more as a producer. He wasn't braggadocio. Well, he was, but he was his own type. He was not gangster rap by any means.
No.
And he was charismatic in his own unique way. He had his own personal style, and it kind of tripped people off because it was so different from everything else, and no one really saw it as marketable, or no one ever saw it as unique. He was in talks with Capitol Records, but was denied at like the last minute, and Roc-a-fella label head at the time, Damon Dash, reluctantly signed Kanye West to Roc-a-fella Records because he didn't want him signing with anyone else. Jay-Z didn't was really reluctant about it as well. He didn't really see Kanye as more as a producer and anything else than that. Leading us to October 23rd, 2002, a very important moment in Kanye West's life. While driving home from a studio session in California, Kanye fell asleep at the wheel and got in a car accident. He woke up with his jaw at the back of his throat. He had a complete shattered jaw. 2 weeks later, with a shattered jaw, Kanye made Through the Wire, one of the most essential, if not the essential Kanye West song. And that's where it leads us to. So, Get Well Soon is it's a mixtape, and it's Kanye's first mixtape, if not one of his first mixtapes, because some of these mixtapes are kind of hard to find. Kind of scrolling through the internet, you have to like go through the deep dark web to find some of these, but this one's really easy to find, and that's why it's kind of noted as his first mixtape. But Kanye, with a shattered jaw, was working on music, and he was working on The College Dropout, and a lot of the moments that pop up on this mixtape are either tracks we'll hear on College Dropout. There's some original material on here, just like a couple tracks, but a lot of it is just music he produced for other artists, and not just like instrumentals. It's pound for pound just the tracks. So there's a lot of Jay-Z on here. There's a track from 50 Cent. There's
interesting.
There's a lot of like other artists that are not coming to my head at the current moment, but there's a lot. But it also has a lot of bits of history to it too. There's just these live sessions or these live recordings of concert moments that pop up in this record that I found were really interesting. And this album, overall, I did not like it as like just listening to it, because there's a lot of Jay-Z, and as you know, I'm not big on Jay-Z.
I just feel like you're not supposed to like it though.
But like, here's the thing: I don't like it, but I love it as a historical context for Kanye.
That's what I was. Yeah.
Because like these moments, I haven't seen or heard them before, and it's nice to hear them. And just seeing, I think this also sets up some of the development we'll talk about on Graduation. It'll definitely be some of the development we'll talk about on College Dropout. Dropout's actually not behind me. I don't know why I pointed to it. But start off, well, like, I'm just going to talk about the notable moments, because these are not supposed to be full reviews. These are more supposed to be setting up like how Kanye has progressed, the history of Kanye, where do we think these album ranks, what do we like about him, not full-on reviews. But there's a lot of Jay-Z on this project and a lot of other artists I do not care for. But the production's fine, because Kanye, I think production...
Well, yeah, that's what he was known for.
This is all old Kanye production, which is some... at least just by himself is some of the better Kanye production, just on his own. So I'm just going to talk about the notable moments. The intro, which has a clip from BET's 106 in Park, where they wish Kanye to get well soon after his car accident, which is nice. A nice little audio moment that actually has its place on history, which is really cool. Immediately followed by Live from Irving Plaza, New York, which is Talib Kweli. I can never say his name.
Talib Kweli.
I don't know why I say it weird, because I can't read. And Mos Def, Talib introduces Kanye, brings him on the stage. Kanye produced music for both Mos Def and Kweli at this point, so they brought him on. He really wanted to be a rapper. They let him do some bars. Mos Def performs as well. It's just a really nice moment. It's not mixed the most well, but it's a live performance, so I'll give him that.
It's not going to be.
But like, it's a nice moment of history. I really enjoy it as a moment of history. We get a snippet of Jesus Walks, which is it's different from what it actually is. It's also like only a minute. It's only a minute snippet. And then we get Through the Wire. Not the album version. It's not as mixed as well as it is on College Dropout. But it's not as well mastered. Has a strange Elton John sample at the end where it's where he says like, I'm gonna get better. I forget what it is.
Oh yeah.
But like, I really enjoy that little moment because it kind of sets up how Kanye's production was at the time, how he had these like long sample beats, and how he used so much of this production, how his production was very sample heavy. How it was like, by sample heavy, I'm not saying just by using samples. I'm saying like just using a sample over and like almost playing the entire clip, not really doing anything to alter it. Not really looping it, just having like the sample play out.
And he continues to do that.
2 Words, which with Moth Def, Freeway, and the Harlem Boys Choir, which later appeared on College Dropout. I'm not going to speak more about that. That's a great track, a great cut from the College Dropout. Pretty much similar to the actual version we got. Live from the Tweeter Center in Illinois. This is when Kanye announced on during Jay-Z's set that he was a part of Roc-a-Fella Records. Another great moment of history. This would also follow a bunch of like Jay-Z tracks, so I think it was really fitting in the mixtape as well. Something really interesting that I really enjoy and I want to talk about. The track Home, which essentially just takes verses that would later be on Homecoming, on on Graduation, one of our personal favorite Kanye West tracks. But hearing Homecoming in a College Dropout setting, because College Dropout and Graduation era Kanye's are like vastly different
for sure.
But it's nice to hear like the verses from that over a more soulful beat, a more soulful sample. No, it's kind of, Graduation was pretty sample heavy, but over a more soulful beat, more R&B style beat. I really enjoyed that. It's still a love letter to Chicago. It showed Kanye has his roots there still. And at that time, he was living in LA, I think. So it was even more vital from now, because later it actually would be a homecoming for Kanye, but at that point it was more just a love letter because that's what he saw as home. The track My Way, which is just a unique cut that I think is just this project only. It's mixed well. It's a finished track. It's not a snippet or anything. It's not a freestyle, and it's just Kanye establishing himself as a unique force. That's what the track's about. He's gonna do shit his way. And that's it. That's it. Overall, not super noteworthy, but because of all the artists. But in the end, it serves as a time capsule for Kanye, his experiences, and his personal history. Overall, not a good project, but it has great moments to it. Through the Wire just is the icing on the cake that this first appeared on this project. Definitely will be outshined by later projects on this list, but for right now, it's technically the best right now. But yeah,
good job.
Technically it's his best right now. So next week, I'm Good. That's what we're doing. So that's next week. Stay tuned for next week. I'm really excited for that because that's more of this College Dropout era Kanye. That's like a year before he dropped it. So it's more material from that. But it also has some material that Chance will later sample on Acid Rap. So it already shows his influence. Yeah, that's all I want to talk about for that.
You guys will also find out what happens in the Kanye Quest.
I'm really excited for that as well. I think this is a pretty good segment. I came in with the historical background. You came in with the memes. It's only gonna get better when we get into the actual, like, not to say this was a bad, well, it kind of was because it was a compilation, but
it's absolutely necessary to cover.
Yeah, but once we get into like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, ooh, this is gonna be like a fun part.
Oh, I've already got the storyline planned out though.